Can I ask you something that sounds silly but is strangely difficult to answer? Imagine you get on a bus after a long day. There are 20 empty seats, but only one is beside another person. Without even thinking, which seat do you choose? Most of us will walk right past the stranger and sit somewhere completely empty. We don't stop to analyze it. We don't tell ourselves, avoid that person. We simply do it automatically. Now imagine the bus keeps moving. More passengers get on, and eventually there are no empty seats left except that one beside the stranger. Suddenly, your simple bus ride turns into a tiny social experiment. You start wondering, should I sit there? Will it be awkward? What if they think I'm bothering them? Isn't it amazing how our minds can turn one empty chair into 100 imaginary problems? Today, we're stepping into that moment together, because hidden inside it is one of the biggest secrets about speaking English naturally.
This happened to me last weekend. I was carrying a backpack, holding a coffee that was definitely too hot, and trying not to spill it while getting onto a crowded train. At first, I felt lucky because there were still a few empty seats. Then I noticed something funny. Every single empty seat was gone except one. Right beside a man reading a newspaper. Everyone who entered the train looked at that seat, and then quietly kept walking. It was almost like we had all silently agreed that sitting beside a stranger should be the last option. I laughed to myself because I was doing exactly the same thing. Instead of sitting down, I stood there pretending I preferred standing, even though my legs were already tired.
Then something unexpected happened. The man looked up from his newspaper, smiled, and gently moved his bag off the seat. He didn't say, "Sit here." He didn't wave. He simply made space. Such a tiny gesture, but it completely changed the moment. I sat down, smiled back, and said the easiest English sentence in the world. "Thank you." He nodded and replied, "Long day?" That was it. 3 simple words. No difficult vocabulary, no grammar test. Just a normal question that could happen anywhere. We ended up talking for only 2 stops. We spoke about the weather, traffic, and how coffee always tastes better when you're running late. Nothing extraordinary happened. Yet when I got off the train, I realized something extraordinary had happened inside me. The conversation I'd spent years avoiding turned out to be one of the easiest conversations I'd ever had.
That's when I understood something important. We spend so much time preparing for the conversations we imagine that we miss the conversations that are actually happening. We picture strangers as judges, when in reality, they're usually just people trying to get home after work. Think about it. The cashier wants to finish their shift. The bus driver wants to stay on schedule. The person beside you is probably thinking about dinner, tomorrow's meeting, or whether they remembered to lock the front door. They're not secretly waiting for you to pronounce every word perfectly. Most people aren't analyzing your English. They're simply hoping for a kind interaction, just like you are.
Let's play a little game. Imagine you're sitting beside that stranger right now. I'll be the stranger. Ready? I smile and say, "Hi, is this seat taken?" You smile and answer, "No, please." Great. Now I sit down and say thank you. You reply, "You're welcome." Then I laugh and say, "This train is always crowded around this time." And maybe you answer, "Yes, every evening." Congratulations, you just had a real English conversation. Did you notice something? None of those sentences were impressive. They were useful. Real conversations are built with simple bricks, not fancy vocabulary. Confidence grows through ordinary moments, not perfect performances.
A few days later, I saw the same man again on the train. This time, before I had a chance to overthink, I smiled first and said, "Good morning." He smiled back immediately and said, "Coffee again?" We both laughed. It lasted maybe 5 seconds, but somehow the entire train felt different. That tiny conversation reminded me that confidence isn't something you suddenly discover one day. It's something you quietly collect, one ordinary interaction at a time. Every small greeting becomes another brick. Every small question becomes another step. Before you realize it, you're no longer practicing English. You're simply living your life in English.
So, here's your challenge for tomorrow. Don't look for a perfect conversation. Look for one empty chair. Maybe it's on a bus, in a waiting room, at a cafe, or in your classroom. If the moment feels natural and appropriate, don't let your first instinct be fear. Let it be curiosity. Start with one honest sentence. Good morning. Thank you. Have a nice day. You don't need to change your whole life in one conversation. Sometimes all it takes is one empty chair and the courage to stop walking past it.